This conference will now be recorded.
Hello guys, welcome back. So now here we are in withholding tax. So in withholding tax, in previous session, few I would say configuration things I explained. So we'll see the remaining steps today in this session. So guys, now okay, let me log into SAP first. And go through path. So it is here in global setting and withholding tax, standard withholding tax, then basic setting. So what we have done, guys, whatever basic setting means here, this I think till here we have done, right? Now you come back and come to calculations. Okay. So here two things are there: withholding tax type and withholding tax code. These two things are going to be set up. Okay. Now, if I talk about withholding tax type and withholding tax code, guys, so there'll be use. There'll be now. What is the use of tax code? We know very well that tax code, or not very well for you people, you don't know because tax related configuration now I'm explaining, right? Okay, and this is direct tax configurations. So tax code means whatever taxes are going to be calculated, right? So a particular percentage will be calculated. So how much percentage? 10%, 5%, 12%, 20%. So whatever percentage is there, guys, for every percent what is happening, we can create a tax code, right? Now, the next question is, the tax percentage is going to be calculated by tax code. Then what is the use of tax type, right? I'll tell you guys, configuration part, lots of people know. But when you talk about logic, there itself people are going to fail. I'll tell you here what is the use of tax type. First of all, just execute this one, give the country key, and create one tax type. So I'll just do one thing. Let me check here. Okay. So this tax type I'm going to TM22 is the company code, right? So T2 I'm going to create as a tax type. Okay, I've deleted and I'm going to set up the same. Okay, so that for me it will be quite easy to remember. Okay. Or else I can write here tax type for right. Okay, now save. Now look at here. There is certain control. Which control? Now calculations. Okay, so multiple options are there, but generally two are very famous, which is going to be used everywhere, right? Net amount and gross amount, right? This tax amount, modified tax amount, not what to say prevalent, but these two are there. Okay. Now, and then this rounding rule. Okay. The rounding rule means I'll tell you. That also I'll let you know. Now you just do one thing. So I have created a tax type. Okay. So tax type means it is having control. It says like tax will be calculated on gross amount or net amount, right? And rounding rule was there. Now you just come back. And here you define one tax type, tax code also. Give the country code, new entry. And here our tax type is T2. Tax code also I'm going to give T2 itself. Okay. Use the same code so that it will be easy to remember. And here tax key, you can select here which tax key. 194I think we can use current. Yes, this is defined. Okay, 10% GST on. Now here percent is subject to tax. I'm going to give 100%. Posting indicator guys, so this taxes will be calculated on like vendors, in the sense of vendor itself, right? So here you have to give posting indicator one and a particular tax percentage, and then you can save it. An entry already exists with the same key. Okay, same key means I have created. Okay, just do one thing, guys. So what I'll do, okay, just okay. You guys can define your own what you say this one tax code and tax type, and do not try to delete other settings. This is mine only. That is why I have deleted, and I'm going to set up once again as per my requirement, or else I would have set up a new. So now P2, yeah, again P2 94I. I've given one description here. Percentage subject to tax, 100 posting indicator. I'm going to explain the things, guys. Don't worry. Just save it now. So first of all, and I think these may be the country specific setting, guys. If you press F1 button, you'll be having some information about the fields, and also look at here the example countries it is already given. Now you just so anyway, if you press F1 button on every field, then what will happen? Certain explanations were, will be given by SAP. But again, that is also for beginners, for freshers. It's a bit difficult to understand what exactly is written, right? The same thing is going to be explained by faculty. Then what happened? We are going to quote some easy example, and easily you guys will be able to understand. And once you understood the logic, and then if you are going to read out the things which is given by SAP, then you'll be able to understand. But before that, again, it's very difficult. Anyway, now, so what I have done, I have created one tax type, right? one tax type, that is T2. Okay. Now, what is the use of tax type, guys? Pretty simple. Tax type is going to control whether tax will be calculated on gross amount or net amount. Okay. First of all, let's suppose there is, this is the amount. Okay. In the sense, this is the amount, I mean to say, when we receive an invoice from vendor, let's suppose rent invoice itself, right? Worth of 1,000. And vendor has applied a tax in the form of, let's suppose, GST, certain country VAT is applicable, VAT, or any particular tax type. This is, I'm talking about indirect taxes, right? So we have received an invoice worth of 1,000, and on which 10% GST or VAT is calculated. So how much tax? 100, right? Now, so overall, how much amount we have to pay to the vendor? This amount, right? Now here, so when we are going to make payment, we have to make payment of 1,100, right? But on that 1,100, what we have to do, guys? We have to deduct TDS, and then we are going to make payment to the vendor. So let's suppose TDS 5% or 10%, whatever it is. TDS, it is 5% itself. And now, how much? Okay. So first of all, look at here about this one. This 100, right? This 100 GST is calculated on this amount, right? So this is called base amount. This 100 got calculated on this amount. So for this tax calculation, what is the base amount? This is the base amount. This 1,000 is the base amount, right? Now, okay. So now here what happened? The question is that 5% is going to be calculated on which amount? This amount or this amount?
Base amount, 1,000 rupees, sir.
Uh, No, we are not going to decide on base amount or like which amount, right? It's client who is going to decide, because maybe in a different country, different rules are there, right? So sometime if the client says no, it is going to be calculated on this amount. So this is called gross amount, right? I'm typing in shortcut, guys. Don't look at the spellings. This is called gross amount, and this is called net amount. Okay, I'll just, okay. This is gross amount and this is net amount. So now what is happening? 5% TDS, if it is going to be calculated on net amount, then it will be 50 rupees. And if 5% TDS is going to be calculated on gross amount, then it is going to be 55 rupees. This is what the difference is. So TDS is going to be calculated on gross amount or net amount. It is going to be controlled by tax type, right? And again, let's suppose here this amounts are in round figure. Okay, it is there in round figure. If it is not in round figure, let's suppose, and here somehow the TDS got calculated like this one, then what is happening? If you want to make it a round figure, right? So we can go for rounding rule. Rounding rule, we had three options over there. If you check, we are having arithmetic rounding, rounding up, and rounding down, or round up or round down, right? So what is this arithmetic rounding, guys? It's pretty simple. If it is 55.12, right? So it is going to, system will make it 55, right? If it is 55.65, system will make it 56. In the sense, if amount is less than 55.5, then it is 55. If it is more than 55.5, then it is 56. Very simple. I think this is mathematical things I'm talking about, guys, not about any account and finance, right? So I'll tell you this. If we talk about this module, right? In finance module also, multiple, non-account and finance background people are working as a consultant. How? So of course, non-finance and account people background will be like weak in terms of accounting. But still, it's okay. There are multiple places where we need the feedback from client itself. So if somebody is having very perfect understanding of these configurations and if they know the logic, right? Then what happened? Easily everybody's are able to survive. And account and finance, if we talk about basic accounting and all, already free videos are available on YouTube, right? We can learn golden rules of accounting and easily we can understand which is the part of balance sheet, which is the part of P&L account, right? How something is going to be debited, how something is going to be credited later. That can be learned easily, right? Now, so here I said that this rounding rule, this control is also there at tax type, right? Or invoice is going to be, tax will be calculated on gross amount or net amount. This control is there under tax type only. Now, I'll tell you guys, tax type is getting created at higher level, whereas under tax type we are going to create the tax code. Why? There is a logic. Okay, there is a logic. See, now, so let's suppose this is tax type. Now we are having under that tax code. Okay. Let's suppose P1, P2. Okay. Right? Under this tax type, I have created these many tax codes. This is 5%, okay, maybe 10%, 12%, right? Different percentage will be there, guys. 18%, whatever it is. Different percentage. So under one tax type, you can set up multiple tax code. It means when you set up this tax code, look at your combinations. Look at here, we are having combinations T2 and T2. Likewise, when you set up T3, then again T2 and T3. It means here tax type T2. When you set up this, we have to give. So what we can do, guys, it means you can remove this. You can make like this. So now what we have done, tax type and tax code combinations. So why SAP is saying that, okay, we have to create a separate tax type, right? So pretty simple. Tax code means it is going to control the tax percentage. In the sense, what should be the tax percentage? It is going to be calculated by tax type, right? And whatever these two tax codes are there, in the sense 5% calculations on which amount? On gross amount or net amount? It is there at tax type level, right? So let's suppose for every taxes, either in the sense all the rent related whatever the percentages are there, so these taxes are going to be calculated either on gross amount or net amount, right? So if it is on gross amount, we have to set up a tax type, and against that tax type we are going to set up all the tax code. If it is going to be calculated on net amount, we have set up another tax type, and against that we have created, right, these things. Now then multiple questions will be there, like, so what will happen if generally certain tax on gross amount, certain tax on net amount? Generally it won't be like that, guys, because taxes means it is a country specific setting, right? Company code wise settings will not be there. Country specific setting means, let's suppose if you talk about a particular country, so in that country whatever the tax related rule is there, that is applicable for every organizations, right? There won't be any differences. That is why tax related settings is a country specific setting. Keep in your mind, right? Now we are having two kind of settings: client level setting and company code level setting, right? Client level setting is the setting which can be used by every company code, like document type and posting key, that is already explained in the previous session, I think, right? Company code level setting means that can be used by a particular company code only, isn't it? It cannot be used by other company code unless it is going to be assigned, right, to that company code. Okay. Now, country specific setting means it is applicable to all the company code which belongs to that particular country. Okay. Later on, like, we have a topic called what do you say, tax on sales purchase. That is the setting or configuration for indirect taxes. So what will happen there? I'm going to explain the things. So you're pretty simple, guys. Tax type and tax code. Okay, tax type control. What control? So the tax will be calculated on gross amount or net amount is going to be controlled by tax code, tax type, and tax code means how much percentage tax is going to be calculated. That is going to be controlled by tax code. Apart from this tax code is having certain other things also. Look at here, tax percentage we have given. Percentage subject to tax. What is this percentage subject to tax, guys? So here, let's suppose if I say 10%, 10% ADS. So now how much, guys? If it is net, then 100. If it is gross, then 110. Right? Now, sometime what happened? So 10% TDS is going to be deducted. Sometime what happened? Okay, very rare requirement only, guys. In, let's suppose in a particular country, there is a requirement that 75%, 75% of total. Like let's suppose on rent, whatever invoice amount is there, of that invoice amount, let's suppose on that invoice amount, 10% TDS supposed to be deducted, right? So now the rule says that 75% of the TDS is going to be paid by the organization and remaining 25% is going to be paid by vendor. Which is the organization, guys? Tata Motor. Okay. And we have a vendor, let's suppose XYZ. Okay. So in this case, SAP say, in the sense like the rule says, or tax department says that 75% TDS is going to be paid by Tata Motor and 25% is going to be paid by this vendor. Paying in the sense 100% TDS is going to be paid by the vendor only. In the sense the amount is going to be deducted from vendor invoice only, right? But what is happening here? The TDS, entire TDS got deducted and it is going to be remitted by Tata Motor, right? From vendor amount itself, certain amount we have kept and it is going to be paid by Tata Motor only. Now the rule says that no, only 75% is going to be deducted and paid by Tata Motor, remaining 25% will be paid by vendor. How they are going to calculate which ERP they are using, that we don't know. That is their headache. Now what is happening? 10% TDS is going to be deducted. But what is the percentage subject to tax? 75%. In that case, what is happening? The 10% TDS means on net amount 10% 100. And what is the 75% of 100, guys? Only 75 rupees will be deducted in the form of TDS amount, right? Why? Because you can specify here percentage subject to tax is 75, right? Percentage subject to tax is 75. So now what is happening? You can specify it, right? Okay. Now, so so this is what the use of percentage subject to tax. But generally, what happened, guys? Uh, we keep 100%, a rare requirement, but I've explained the logic behind that. You keep 100% over there, right? 100% means if 10% TDS means 100, it means entire 100 is going to be calculated. If you keep percentage subject to tax 75, 50, 80, whatever it is, then whatever this overall amount is there, from that again system is going to calculate, say 75% or 80%, that amount is going to be deducted. Okay. So what is the difference between tax type and tax code? Very simple, guys, right? Very simple. You have to say whatever the percentage is there, that is going to be calculated with the help of tax code, and that percentage will be calculated either or on gross amount or net amount is going to be controlled by tax type. Exactly in this way you have to explain the things, or is I've seen people are saying, they're saying here and there things and all. And there was one more thing, guys, in that, like we are having tax, whether tax will be calculated on tax amount in the sorry gross amount or net amount, or even tax amount also very rare. What is a requirement in the sense? So that is why gross amount and net amount I said. If it says like tax will be calculated, TDS will be deducted on tax amount, in the sense this is on this amount it is going to say, but I haven't seen this. What is say requirement? It may be somewhere. Of course, it will be there if it is given by SAP, right? But gross and net amount is prevalent. That is why I have explained. Always you have to see this gross or net amount itself. if you say that TDS will be deducted on tax amount, again they will ask the example. You quote me one example. Now you don't know this example, where to bring this example if you haven't seen anything practically, right? So that is why gross and not net only you have to say during interview. Okay. Now here, what we have to do, guys. So another thing is, let me come back. I think it is what, so I'll have to log in once again. We have created a tax type and tax code. Let me check whether my tax code is saved or not. It is saved already. Now come back. Now here, just do one thing. Come here on company code. Assign withholding tax type to the company code. Whatever tax type we have created, that you have to assign with your company code, right? Why not tax code, guys? I told you that under one tax type we are having multiple tax codes. If we assign the tax type itself, by default the tax code is also linked with the company code, right? So if we have like, let's suppose some 20 tax code, and for that we have created one tax type. So instead of assigning 20 tax code, we can assign a simple one tax type itself. Click on inventory and give your company code here. Tax type is T2, right? And withholding tax present here, you have to apply a check mark. If you apply a check mark here, then what happened, guys? Then the withholding, it is a kind of activation, we can say, right? Now, so the calculation will happen. Sometime what happen, people forget to apply a check mark here, right? So now, then in that case, calculations will not happen here. Now, withholding tax obligated from, in the sense like one validity is going to be specified, guys, and validity will be always like unlimited validity generally we specify here. Okay, it means like, let's suppose, so 31st of March here, like this. Okay, if you're using calendar year, then 1st January and 31st December, 9999 unlimited. Okay, and always okay, so this is what you have to do. Just save it once, come back, activate extended withholding tax. What is the meaning of this activation, guys? Look at here. First of all, so give your company GM52. Now, so what is the impact if you are going to activate the withholding tax? Okay, so now this is also pretty simple. There is a checkbox here. Open one more screen. It's taking time. What is happening, guys? Maybe some. Screen here, and here SPR. So now here, activate extended withholding tax. Click here, give your company code PM22. Okay, and here go to XK02. Now, what is your vendor, guys? Let me check the vendor code. Give the company code. This company code I have created. These are the vendors. Use anyone. Okay. So here, generally, if you click on address tab directly, you can go to this address tab. Or else, if you click on payment transaction, then bank details, right? So pretty simple. Wherever you want to go, like let's suppose if I have to make any changes related to this payment transaction, in the sense terms of payment or payment method, if you want to change, directly we can come here and we can change it. In the same way, if you want to go to withholding tax, here we are having a tab for withholding tax. If you press enter, now look at here. Extended withholding tax functionality is not active. So what does it mean, guys? You cannot go to this tab until unless you activate this setting. Okay, it means whatever tax, you save it first. Okay, this is activated. It's okay. It's a kind of information, guys. Just press enter and proceed further. Okay, now I have seen multiple time, right? I have seen multiple time. Sometime what happen if any warning message is also taking place, you guys are going to stuck there itself. So guys, warning message means you have to check whether it is a warning message or error message. Error message whenever appear, guys, at bottom a red color message will be there. Okay. If the red color message is not there, if it is a green message or yellow message, whatever it is, this is just for the sake of information and warning, and that can be ignored easily by pressing enter button twice and thrice. Okay, this also you have to keep it in mind. Now, so this is the company code. Now what I have done, I have activated extended withholding tax. So now you can come. Still the same issues. Why? Because activation I have done just now. On this screen I have opened before this activation. So you have to refresh the screen. Press enter button. First of all, give this transaction code /NXK02 and then press enter button. Withholding tax, press enter. Now we have come here. Okay. So this is what the benefit. What is the benefit, guys? Activation means now withholding tax tab will be open in vendor master, right? Okay. So here in vendor master, what happened, guys? In vendor master, you are going to assign your tax type and tax code. Okay, tax type and tax code. Okay, activate it. In the sense liable means then SAP is going to calculate. Now save it. present. Okay. So whatever tax type and tax code is created, guys, those tax type and tax code is going to be assigned here against vendor master. Why the tax type and tax code is going to be assigned to the vendor master? It's pretty simple. Pretty simple means, let's suppose we are having multiple vendors. Okay, these are all vendors, right? Now, okay. So on these all vendors, what is happening? Let's suppose from every vendor we are going to receive a rent related invoice only. Okay, rent related invoice only. So what happened, guys? But the thing is, let's suppose from certain vendor, let's suppose vendor A, whatever the corporate office is there, that office is on rent. So let's suppose here, I'll just do it here. It's okay. Now make it like this. Okay. So this corporate office then is on rent, and for that 10% TDS, right? For this one, Mumbai office is on rent, taken on rent. So this vendor is going to send the invoice. So likewise, certain vendors, right? This D, let's suppose certain land is taken on lease, and for that 5% TDS is supposed to be deducted. Okay, leasehold land it is called, right? Okay. So these vendors, leasehold land. Land, I'll tell you guys, whatever the vehicles are getting manufactured, let's suppose it is going to be parked somewhere in an open space, and that space they have taken on lease from, let's suppose, a particular firm, or sometime what happened, it was there, like whatever my previous implementation was there, that like the company has taken certain open space, in the sense like from local farmer villages, they made a community of those people, and whatever the rent was there every month was getting transferred, right, in the community account, and whatever those people, like they had a group and these people used to distribute the amounts and all. It's okay. Now let's suppose then we are having like, let's suppose certain machinery or plant is taken on rent from these vendors. So different vendor, different what is happening, guys? Tax percentage. Okay, different tax percentage. Let's suppose. So here what will happen? How it is possible to remember, right? How it's possible to remember that this vendor is eligible for 10% TDS, this vendor is for 20%, this vendor is for 5% or 18% or 12%. It is very difficult to remember. So what happened? Even this TDS percentage is also, TDS percentage means tax code, that is going to be assigned to the vendor master. So only tax code cannot be assigned, guys. The combination tax type and tax code both will be assigned, because 5% tax TDS supposed to be calculated. So those 5% will be on gross amount or net amount, right? So that is specified against tax type. So now here T2 and T2. Here what is happening, guys? T2 and T4, right? So likewise here what is happening? We are going to assign different. So for 12% we are having T3. So tax type is T2 and then T3. These are the combinations going to be assigned against vendor master. Okay. In that case, since at the time of setting of vendor master itself, we have assigned the TDS percentage, tax percentage, right? Tax code and tax type. In that case, No need to remember this manual, right? Now, when we post the invoice, at that point of time itself, SAP will come to know that this vendor is eligible for 10% TDS, 10% tax. Why? Because the way SAP is going to fetch the payment method, the way SAP is going to identify the terms of payment, the way SAP is going to read out the bank details. How? From vendor master itself, right? In the same way, this tax percentage is also going to be read out by SAP from vendor master itself, because already we have to assign tax type and tax code there in the vendor master. This is what the advantage, right? If we have 10,000 vendors, then are we going to remember for every vendor that this vendor is eligible for this much percent, or that much percentage? No. Simply we have to assign this tax type and tax code against the vendor master itself, right? So that is what we have done now. So at vendor master level, it is going to be assigned. There is one more thing, guys. If we talk about this tax type and tax code, right? So let's suppose in one vendor, let's suppose this vendor, a particular vendor is there. This particular vendor is giving two different kind of services. Then what is happening? Then you will be having options. You can maintain two tax type and tax code. But again, two tax type and tax code means, let's suppose, so what will happen? Different kind of services, two different kind of services. There is one more thing, that in vendor master, let's suppose tax type is T2 and tax code is also T2 or T3. Let's suppose T3. Again, the same tax type, the same like this tax type, and the code is like T4 is not possible. In the sense, we have defined two different tax code, guys, but the tax type is same. So if you want to assign this combination in the vendor master, no, it is not possible. You think logically, why it is not possible? So the rule says that this vendor, either it will be eligible for 12% or 10% or 5%. Okay, it's not like 5% also and 20% also, right? Yes, it could be like, let's suppose the same vendor is giving a different services, then for that we have to define a different tax type. Okay, for that we have to define a different tax type and different tax code will be there. So again, these become like, let's suppose different tax type means I'm going to define a tax type PT and tax code, let's suppose P6. So this can be possible here if you are saying PT and P6. It's possible. It's possible. Okay, so this is possible. But same tax type is not possible. Okay, we'll do one thing, guys. We can perform the testing also. If you have like what to say, two different combinations, then what will happen? How the postings are going to happen, right? I'll show you. They're very simple. So what we have to do, guys? Now we'll see that. Let me do one thing. Let me log in again. I think my system become a bit slow. Okay, now, so what we have done, now we have activated withholding tax. What next, guys? The one more setting is there that we have to complete. Okay, withholding tax, you expand this one, you expand this one, and we are having like this activated. We have activated this withholding tax code. Okay, so here, look at here, define account for withholding tax to be payable. What is our chart of account? That is TM22 itself, right? So here what happened, guys? Here we have to assign the GL account. What for? See, when I say 10% TDS or 12% or 5%, whatever. So a particular amount is going to be deducted, guys. Deducted in the sense calculated. The particular amount is going to be calculated. What about that amount, guys? It must be posted in a particular account. Now, let's suppose we have a rent invoice worth of 1,000, right? So, if we have to post a transaction, what should be the accounting entry here, guys? Your rent account is going to be debited or from renter account is going to be credited worth of 900 only. Okay, and TDS on rent account is going to be credited with 100 rupees. So look at here, overall credit 900 plus 100. So credit is 1000 and debit is also 1000. Right? Very simple. Okay, rent account is going to be debited with 1000. Vendor is going to be credited with 900. Right? And what is the actual payment to the vendor, guys? This 900 only is going to be paid to the vendor because 100 rupees is deducted in the form of TDS. And this is going to be remitted to the tax department at month end. This payment, in the sense this amount is going to be paid to the tax department, right? This 900 payment only is going to be paid to the bank. Okay, so this is credit. Now, so here TDS on rent account is credited. So this amount must be posted somewhere. So this is going to be posted in a GL account. If we talk about this amount calculation, guys, this amount is calculated automatically, right? It is going to be calculated automatically, guys, not manually, right? So automatically how it is getting calculated, guys, based on the tax code which we have defined in tax code itself. All the things we have given, guys, how much percentage is going to be calculated, right? And what is the percentage subject to tax, everything we have specified. So based on that, SAP is going to calculate. When SAP is going to calculate this TDS, then what is happening? You select these two and save it. Okay, when SAP is going to calculate this TDS, then what will happen? Then against which GL account it is going to be posted. So we have to set up this GL account. Okay, and when the tax amount calculation is happening automatically, so even the determination of GL account is also going to happen automatically only. In the sense, auto determination of GL account. We are not going to give the GL account manually, right? Based on our assignment, automatically SAP is going to determine the GL account, and this tax amount is going to be posted in that GL account automatically. How? As I said, I'll show you guys. Okay, I'll show you how SAP is going to trigger this GL account. That also you need to, because if anybody asks, right, you must have to give the answer, right? And your answer must be like a consultant, right? Not like other people, because that poor answer means nothing will happen, right? Like you already lakhs of people are there in the market, right? So your answer must be like unique. So unique means you have to explain the things in details, right? And details explanations can be given, or detailed explanations will be there only if you have perfect understanding, right? Now you just do one thing, guys. Go to FS00. Let me set up this real account first, and then I'll wind up the session here. Testing will be performed in next session. So where under liability we are going to set up this TDS on rent, because whatever this TDS is there, guys, this is our liability, right? You are liable to pay this amount to someone, right? To the tax department. It is not our own amount. Okay. Click on create button. Now I'm going to create 2001 and here. So now here create TDS on rent account. Now come down here. Line item display. Sort key you can give, guys. G001. Okay. Now, post automatically, it's up to you. If you want to apply, you can apply, or else if you don't want to apply, we can leave up also. If you apply here, then what is happening? This GL cannot be used for manual transaction posting. It is going to be used for auto transaction posting, automatic transaction posting, right? When you post the invoice, what will happen? SAP is going to trigger this GL account automatically, and it is going to be posted. Now, so we have created this GL account 2001, and it is going to be assigned here, okay, in this configuration. So this is going to be assigned against certain combination, guys. Why? Because in real time we will be having multiple GL account, right? If it is a single GL account, then what will happen? Here you can change the rules and you can click on save button, make it yes. Then what is happening? Only no tax code, no tax type. Here you can assign the GL. But the thing is, let's suppose rent related TDS is going to be posted in a different GL, or it related in the sense professional technical services. For that, the related TDS is going to be posted to a different GL, right? Likewise, certain different other categories also will be there. In that case, multiple GLs are going to be set up. So multiple GL means how SAP is going to trigger. So of course you have to change the rules. Now tax type and tax code, or is even you can select single also, like tax type itself, okay, or tax code itself. But tax type and tax code for accurate GL determinations. So T2 and tax code is also T2. This is for tax type. Okay, look at here, and if you click here, tax, and this is the GL account which I have created. Just save it. So here what I have done, I have assigned the GL account. What for, guys? From here SAP is going to determine the GL account. When you post a transaction, even TDS GL also will come into picture because tax amount is there, right? So how SAP is going to trigger this GL account, guys? Since automatic calculation of tax is happening here, so here the GL account is also going to be triggered by system automatically itself, right? So this we have assigned here. Okay. So what we have done, guys? We have done the configuration part, but still the testing is remained. So we have to perform the testing also. Once you perform the testing, then only you guys will come to know that whichever configurations we have done, right, is correct, or still certain things are missing or we have made certain mistakes, right? So that you guys will come to know based on testing itself, right? So testing we are going to have a look in next session.